Well, I'll tell you what I said leading up to this game. I said, guys, we're not scoring 92 and 90 and 84 points. This is a totally different basketball team, none like you've played before. And I showed them their comebacks against Connecticut, Creighton, and one other team. I said, guys, every possession is going to be challenged, and the reason they're such a great offensive rebounding team is they'll drive, throw it up, force you to rotate, and then kill the offensive glass. But without question, this is my favorite game of the season. Now, we've played better, but it's my favorite game of the season. Because when you're down 15 to a team like Seton Hall, and you're getting your backs kicked on the offensive glass, and you're in foul trouble, and you come back from 15 down and wind up with 20 offensive rebounds, you really wanted to win this game. And obviously these two gentlemen next to me, highly responsible for that. I thought Dylan Darling isolated and gave us probably the win tonight with some of the defensive plays he made, which was terrific. Ruben gave us a big lift. They just played Zuby as hard as they could play. But these guys keep getting better and better and better. Dylan was shooting great from the foul line. He went back to his Cincinnati ways tonight, bringing the ball behind his head. He just wanted some nostalgia for the past. But obviously, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals. It was a pretty damn good performance. I asked the guys before the game questions, what do you admire most about Zuby? And they all said, he just outworks everybody. I said, well, I've got to get 13 guys that outwork everybody like Zuby in order for us to progress at the level we want to get to. And these two guys did that tonight. Proud of them, great guys. I think the biggest bummer this season is going to be that I only had the opportunity to coach these guys for 8 months. That's the thing I hate the most about this season is these two guys are only around me for 8 months because they're tremendous people.
We'll start with questions for Dillon or Bryce.
Dillon, was there anything said, with about 15 minutes left, when you're down 15 and, obviously it's not looking great? Would Coach say anything, you guys say anything to each other? How do you think it flipped?
I mean, just staying together, digging in, understand the mistakes we were making, just knowing how to fix it, and knowing what we needed to do. The coach has been telling us, even coming into this game, what it's going to take to win this game, what it's going to take to stop them. And I thought first half, we didn't listen, we didn't do none of those things. In second half, we just had to stay together. We got a little frustrated, but we stayed together. We locked in on what we had to do. We just went out there and played our hearts out, left it all on the court, and we're happy with the results.
Dillon, Zuby has been your leader this year, but that large run was with him on the bench in foul trouble. Can you just kind of explain what went into that run, especially with him on the sidelines?
It's just playing as hard as you can. That's really the main thing. It was nothing special that we did. It was nothing that we drew up or something like that. It was just playing hard, getting stops on defense. Obviously, that second half was one of the biggest things was rebounding the ball, hitting people. We got rebounds, we got offensive rebounds, but the main thing was just leaving it all on the court, playing hard. At that point, you don't down 15. You got nothing else to lose. You got to go out there and try to get back in the game, and that's what we did.
Dillon, could you reflect on your game of basketball so far at St. John's and how you feel overall it's improved?
Just limiting what I can do, going out there, having confidence. But the biggest thing is playing with such great teammates, playing with really skilled guys that know basketball a little bit, and really just going out there and having fun. But the guys that I'm around, it's the biggest thing that I've learned, throughout the season is just playing with elite guys that go out there and compete. The way we practice every day and the competition and practice every day is something that you can't get nowhere else.
Bryce, Coach Pitino just said that it was his favorite game of the season so far. What do you think that you guys discovered about yourselves in coming back from the 15-point deficit tonight?
I think we discovered that there's no quitting us. As Coach stated, we didn't come out how we wanted to in the first half, and I think the discussion between me and the guys was, who's going to be the tougher team? Are we just going to fall down and take their punch and keep getting punched, or are we going to get back up and throw our punch? And I feel like that was the biggest thing we did coming out of halftime. Even when we started off a little slow in the second half, at the 15-minute mark, I feel like something clicked with the guys. We all came together, and we just, decided to play every possession like it was our last, and, just rally around that and just keep building off that momentum.
Bryce, I want to ask you to talk about that a little bit more from your standpoint. It seemed like you were willing to draw the physicality tonight. You looked for it, and you were more patient in terms of making sure that the defender hit you, and then you went forward. And you were really aggressive going into the basket in that moment. Talk a little bit about how you felt. Did the game slow down for you?
For sure. I pride myself, and I'm a player that loves physicality. So, and I feel like a big thing is when you're playing against opponents that are aggressive towards you on the defensive end, I feel like you have to attack them and be aggressive going back at them as well. And that's what I try to do. I know when they press up, it's easy to, I like the physicality, like I said. So me putting my body into them and, just trying to, create some of that contact, I feel like that was big, and, drawing guys and then, getting other players' shots.
Bryce, how has Dillon impacted this team in the starting lineup?
A lot. I feel like we see it every day. What he brings to this team, his energy, his athleticism, how vocal he is with us, and our timeouts and stuff like that. He's, impacted us a tremendous way. And, we love being out there in that lineup with Dillon out there with us. And, I feel like we're playing some really good basketball right now. The ball's moving. Guys are playing confident, not pressing, and I feel like we're playing really good basketball right now.
Dillon, moving into the starting lineup, you think it's averaging 9.5 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, kind of doing a little bit of everything these last 5 games. Do you think starting has helped, kind of helped raise your play at all?
No, I mean, I think it was just getting out there and doing whatever coach needs me to do, whatever the team needs me to do to help win. I think a big thing also was me and Bryce definitely being able to handle the ball, giving the guards some help. I think one of the biggest things was trying to get the ball moving a little bit more. I felt like sometimes when I go home and watch the games back and even watch film with the team, it's like sometimes we feel like we're standing or stagnant. So just trying to get the ball movement a little more, try to get the guys on page with defense and just playing hard like Zuby does. But I think the main thing was just trying to get the ball moving a little bit more, like I said, being able to handle the ball and just get our offense going off rebounds and stuff like that, getting out in transition, stuff like that.
All right, thanks, Dillon. Thanks, Bryce.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Zach.
Rick, did tonight remind you at all of last year? A little bit, just with,
Well, Seton Hall's a lot like our team was last year, without Kadari, and probably without RJ, but the style of play. So, I told the guys, you get down 15, I said, look, if we're gonna win this game, you're gonna have to play every single possession as if you're down 3 and 3-point shots coming, or you're down 2 and the 2-point shots coming without an offensive rebound. I said, but you may get in the NCAA tournament and you may not have it like we don't have it tonight. So you're gonna go home or you're gonna win the game. And that was the challenge I said to them. You're down 15, you're gonna go home, NCAA tournament, say goodbye to everybody, never see each other again, or you're gonna move on. So that's the challenge that we have right now, and I think with 20-second shots, they were just relentless on the backboard, refusing to lose. Dillon, Darling, and Ruben just refusing to give in. Ruben gave us a big lift as well. What Dillon's allowed us to do is now Ian did, this is the wrong type of game for Ian, but he's allowed Ian to play the point by just throwing it back to him against pressure, and he brings it up against a 4-man. So in Ian's defense, Ian's a wing player, he's a 2-guard, but in the overall scheme of things, he's gonna become a much better basketball player by learning all of this. But this was a difficult game for him. This was more of a game for Dillon Darling tonight than it was for Ian.
Coach, Dillon Mitchell has, the last 5 games, has really rebounded the ball very well. Did something click for him, you think? He's obviously put in the effort all year, but it feels like the last 5 games, the rebounding has really gotten there.
I think he knew tonight Zuby wasn't rebounding at all, Bryce and him. I thought Bryce made some great plays backdoor to Dillon for the lob. Bryce is a good, but both of those guys really understand the game. And tonight was a night where your best player didn't have it, and credit that to Seton Hall. They're the only team this year that's been able to stop him, and it's a big credit to them. Seton Hall's a tough-ass team to play against, and we had to to pull a Seton Hall to win this game.
Rick, you just compared your team last year to their team this year.
In style of play.
Yeah. I mean, Shaw's teams always are known for playing great defense. He gets them to play great D, but they struggle offensively a lot. They go through scoring droughts. Can they compete for an NCAA tournament bid? Can they be an NCAA tournament team if they struggle like that offensively but play defense like that?
Well, we struggled last year the same way. Without question, they can. You know, Simpkins is a great shooter. Williams can shoot the basketball. Hines may be one of the best backup centers in the Big East, if not basketball. He's a great player with great hands. So he's maximizing their potential, getting the most out of every player. So without question, yes. You know, they got to shoot free throws better, as we do down the stretch. But that sometimes will lose you games that you should win.
Rick, after the Providence game, you said you were most disappointed because you told your team they had to win with their defense, and they didn't. Tonight, obviously, down the stretch, you won with your defense. Are you surprised how quickly that message was bought in by your team?
I think what you and the rest of the media have just mistaken on is we only played 4 bad minutes since Georgetown against Providence. We went out to a big lead. We had 4 bad minutes, and that can happen to any basketball team, and a credit to Providence. But I said we were our backs to the wall because they were, and I wanted my team to feel that, and I wanted my team down 15 to understand this could happen at any point in time. But you made it seem like we were playing poorly. We were not. We had a great game at Georgetown and played 4 difficult minutes, and now we've played really good basketball. Tonight we didn't have it, but we didn't have it tonight because of Seton Hall. It wasn't because we weren't trying. We were trying, but they were terrific at their style of play.
Coach, I know you always want to keep the focus on your players and stay in the moment here, but that's 899 wins for you, your career, that ties Coach Knight. Number 900, you get a shot at 900 against your own son on Saturday. Just your thoughts on that? I mean, does that make you shake your head?
Well, I think he will do everything humanly possible to stop it. You know, the amazing thing about it, I really don't think too much about the number of wins, but the amazing thing to me, when Kenny Klein told me about 4 games ago, he said, if you keep winning, you could have your 900th game against your son. And I said, what's the chances of that happening? That you coach 900 games, 50 years, and your 900th game is against your son. So I think that's a big treat for me and the family. Either way, we know we're going to have a difficult game against them because of their style of play. He's doing a fabulous job. But he is Richard, I like all my children, I love dearly, but Richard's the all-time ball buster. The all-time ball buster. He has a sense of humor like nobody else. Now here we're in a pressure-packed game, Elite 8 against Florida, against Billy Donovan. And we have a great matchup zone. We're confusing everybody, and we didn't confuse Billy the Kid. He was kicking our ass matchup zone-wise. And Richard kept saying timeout to me, and I've told the story before, get out of the matchup zone, get out. I said, when you become a head coach, you can sit in this chair. Why don't you just be quiet and let me coach the team? How many Final Fours have you been to? He said, Dad, get out of the matchup zone. All right, timeout, get in here. We're out of the matchup zone. Here's what we're going to do. So now we're going to a Final Four in the country, his first Final Four. You think he would an unbelievable job, Dad, this is great, what a Final Four. He grabbed me from behind the shoulders, he said, you can thank me later. And it's true, without that suggestion, without that play, we don't go to a Final Four that year. But I'm really, really proud of Richard. This is going to be a difficult game for us because of the way they play. And this morning I called his assistant, Peyton. They were trying to give us like 6 o'clock walkthrough. They were taking, I think they were taking 9:30 to like 11:30, a 2-hour walkthrough with a 2:30 game. And I said, Peyton, can you give us like, instead of 50, so we have to get up at 6:30, can you give us from like 8:30 to 9:30 and tell my son, I don't want 8:30 to 9:25, I want it to 9:30. And he called back and said, this is bulletin board material, I'm telling everybody. And so this is gonna be a lot of fun, great game. If we lose, I'll leave my team in Cincinnati.
Coach, your thoughts on tying Coach Knight? Obviously, you know what he's meant to
I can't spell Coach Knight. He's one of the greats of all time. I probably just coached a lot longer than him.
Rick, you said that when the team was down 15, you gave them like a situation. It's the NCAA tournament. Are you going home or are you advancing? Is this the first time this season that you've sort of given them you're in the NCAA tournament scenario?
I told him at halftime also, I said, look, there's gonna be times, I've been in it against Wichita State. I said, it wasn't on night. They were great, couldn't make shots. We needed a walk-on to make 2 threes to get back in the game. And I said, you're gonna face certain nights that are not your night. And you gotta dig in and find a way to win. And I told them there, you're down 15. Don't worry about it. You're getting down. Don't get down, get up. Possession by possession. Make the plays offensively, get the offensive play, get the defensive rebounds, play by play. Just dig in. It's not your night. It will be our night with a victory. So just dig in, and they did.
Rick, one of the things that was like a little bit of the magic at the end of last season was that even dipping back into the tail end of the regular season, you were telling guys to treat the game like an NCAA tournament game. I think it might have been the last handful of games, maybe in the regular season and then the conference tournament. Is that a thing that you think is beginning to happen with this group?
Well, I do that because, let's look at it this. I'm not sure, did Dylan Darling play in the NCAA tournament last year at the Big Sky? Did they win that? No? Okay. Dillon Mitchell, did he play in?
I don't think so.
No, he probably did at Texas, but not with Cincinnati. Osiah Sellers, did he?
No.
Ian did, I'm sure, at North Carolina. He played,
Yes.
yeah. So there's a lot of guys have never been there. The Europeans don't even know what the tournament's all about. So I tried to just show them that there's going to be a night where you got to give the other team credit, and you got to do something about it to get a victory. You got to be a better rebounding team, better defensive team, because it's not your night, and they were tonight. They dug in and they made it happen. I thought Dylan Darling iced the game with his defense.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you, Rick.